woman shared her regrets about not working harder to save her marriage now that her ex-husband is happily remarried. The 41-year-old woman shared to the True Off My Chest subreddit that she left her husband around 10 years ago, shortly after they'd had their first child together. According to this woman, there were no major issues in the marriage. She was a stay-at-home mom and had her husband wrapped around her finger. He did whatever she said, and she burned him out. When he grew tired of her demands, she started threatening divorce. She thought she was still a great catch and that she could do better than her husband, so she left. She ended up getting joint custody of her son and the house after the divorce. Now, 10 years later, the ex-husband is happily remarried with a baby daughter and a new house. The divorced woman, on the other hand, has been unmarried ever since. She's jealous of her ex-husband's new wife, saying, "She took my husband, she took my kid, she took my life that was once mine, and now I live in an empty house." She claims she is alone and miserable and wishes she would have been a better wife 10 years ago so she wouldn't be in this situation. As you can probably imagine, not many people were very sympathetic towards this woman. "You got what you deserved and he got what he deserved," one Redditor commented. Others noted that the new wife didn't take anything from her, with one saying, "You gave it away." This woman's story may end in bitterness and guilt, but that's not the case for most divorcees. According to research derived from family law attorneys, 80% of divorcees end up remarried. While divorce is a valid option in many situations, it's not always the solution. It takes two to make things work, and many people believe this woman reaped what she sowed.
In the maze of human emotions, the tale of Rachel, Michael, and David unfolds, offering a poignant glimpse into the intricacies of modern relationships. Amidst the fluctuations of love, commitment, and personal growth, each character grapples with their own desires, insecurities, and aspirations. From the initial spark of infatuation to the tumultuous journey of self-discovery, their story navigates the complexities of romantic entanglements and the transformative power of choice. As we delve into the depths of their intertwined lives, we are confronted with the universal truths of human connection, resilience, and the pursuit of happiness amidst the turbulence of love. I can't exactly figure out what women need. You throw a man out, drive him away from his own spot, and then your new boyfriend moves in. Fast forward 2 years, and your ex has moved on, finding happiness in his life. Meanwhile, you're still uncertain about where you stand in your new arrangement. Since your ex is thriving, you're both mad and wanting him back, simultaneously. It's rubbish.
Months later. Divorcing my husband was a terrible mistake. I started getting a feeling of overwhelming guilt. It got so bad that I ended up not even going to the movie. A week and about 1,000,000 years later I was on a therapist's couch. I told her everything that had happened, starting with the promotion that I got at work. She did not agree with me or with any of the encouragement to divorce that I got. I ended up in her office 2 and sometimes 3 times a week, and the more that I talked to prove that I was right, the more that I started to see how wrong I was. It was truly heartbreaking. I don't know if I cried as much in my whole life as I did in the first month in her office. After about $2,000 of therapy sessions, I learned that my ex-husband had his faults, but I figured out that mine were so much worse. I did so many awful things and said awful things that I wouldn't want to be with me, but he did. I still remember him asking me in the meeting with the lawyer to please not go through with it. I did go through with it though, and then later I bragged on here how great it felt. I was so wrong, and now I can see it. A couple weeks ago I went outside with him when he was leaving the house. I asked him about getting back together. When he looked at me, his eyes were full of tears and a couple went down his cheeks. He told me that he didn't know if he could. He said that the pain has been too much for too long and that if we got back together that I might just turn around and do it to him again. He said that he always thought that I would realize how much he loved me and stop until I signed the divorce papers, and let out a big over-exaggerated sigh of relief. He said that hurt him more than anything else and that he doesn't know if he can ever trust me again. I don't blame him. I destroyed a man who, looking back, was a great husband. I deprived my kids of having a great father in the house with them, and I took his kids away from him. And I, the one who pushed for the divorce expecting happiness and a life of freedom, spend all my free time sitting at home or sitting on a therapist's couch.
All right, gather around, guys. Let's delve into this story. In the complex maze of her emotions, a 28-year-old woman named Rachel found herself standing at a crossroads in her life. She had tied the knot with a 35-year-old man, Michael, at the tender age of 17, and they had navigated through 1.5 turbulent years of marriage. Their journey had been marked by obstacles, including Michael's mental struggles and instances of conflict, but the latter had eased as he better managed his condition. Buried deep inside, Rachel thought that perhaps her and Michael's paths weren't meant to be intertwined. As time passed, her affectionate feelings for him dwindled, leaving her with a sense of detachment and, at times, even disgust for his expressions of love. Despite a strong friendship and a generally harmonious life together, she couldn't shake off the persistent thought that a significant connecting piece was missing. October swept Rachel, steering her life into an unforeseen direction when she encountered a 42-year-old man named David. The moment they met, a certain chemistry and profound bond ignited between them. No physical intimacy occurred, yet the experience jolted Rachel's awareness of the void in her marriage. She communicated this revelation to Michael, confessing her uncertainty about their future as a couple. Consequently, they decided to go their separate ways, with Michael relocating from their shared residence. In the aftermath of their separation, Rachel found herself building a relationship with David. This new relationship contrasted starkly with her marriage to Michael. It was passionate, exhilarating, and deeply fulfilling. David's empathy and his knack for making her feel cherished breathed a refreshing breeze into her life. What set him apart was that he never pushed Rachel towards quickly pursuing a divorce. His only concern was her well-being. Come December, Rachel gathered the courage to inform Michael about her desire for a divorce. Though he didn't share her view and suggested seeking counseling, Rachel remained steadfast in her decision. Understanding her choice, Michael began moving forward with his life, leading to minimal interaction between them. As Rachel edged towards finalizing the divorce, a wave of intense doubts washed over her. The prospect of letting go of Michael and the life they had built left her entangled. Uncertainty clouded her judgment, and she wondered if reigniting the romantic feelings she once held for Michael was feasible. She pondered if she deserved a chance at reconciliation considering her new relationship, and whether they could overcome the turmoil of the recent months. Rachel was torn between holding on to David and the intense love they once shared. The horizon with him seemed promising, yet the prospect of permanently forsaking her husband brought her profound sadness. Amidst her heart's turmoil, Rachel sought comfort in therapy to gain clarity. The choices ahead were complex, fraught with deep charge, and she understood the importance of prioritizing her happiness while considering everyone's opinions involved. In this quest of self-discovery and soul-searching, Rachel was resolute in finding her true path. Ultimately, Rachel chose David. Fast forward 2 years, and Michael had moved on. He had remarried. Unlike Rachel, who considered herself in an unhappy relationship, she described his oppressive tendencies. Rachel struggled to define her place in the relationship. Scanning her Facebook, Michael's life mirrored their shared plans. However, Rachel was not the one by his side. Someone else had taken her place. Anger simmered inside her, and she longed for Michael's return. She's in her mid-30s now. The consequences of past actions were catching up. Michael's interest in reconciliation was doubtful. The complexities of women's desires elude me. You discard, eject a man from his own home, then your new boyfriend takes his place. After a couple of years, your ex has rebuilt his life and found happiness, while you struggle in your new relationship. Frustration brews, and you yearn for his return. Nonsense. Let's not overlook Michael's content married life. Even if he were single, I'd never endorse reuniting. I might have already addressed this point. Never reconcile with an ex. You'll never satisfy her. She'll always draw comparisons with her ex, potentially David's current challenge. You'll never have what it takes. The heart of the matter isn't Rachel's partners. If 2 relationships break down due to the same pattern, logically, she played a role. She's the variable. Rachel should mend her relationship with David, for Michael will never rekindle. Such is life. Unfortunately, women sometimes shoulder blame. They'll consistently point at their exes. Zero self-evaluation. I've grown frustrated with such women. Her bond with Michael failed, and now her relationship with David is fraying. Instead of striving for resolution, she contemplates abandoning ship. Perhaps she salvages her relationship or embraces singlehood at 50. The next move's up to her. And that concludes today's discussion on MGTOW Voice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on future videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video.